The legacy of Rolex, a brand built on precision. Rolex isn't just a watch, it's a symbol, a silent announcement of status, taste, and timeless style. Founded in 1905 by Hans Wilsdorf, Rolex started not in Switzerland, but in bustling London. Wilsdorf had a vision, one not merely focused on timekeeping, but on elevating the wristwatch from a novelty into an indispensable companion for life's milestones. He envisioned a world where watches were worn on the wrist, not hidden in pockets. But the early 20th century was skeptical. Wristwatches were seen as delicate, feminine, and inaccurate. Wilsdorf changed that narrative. By 1910, Rolex became the first wristwatch in the world to receive the Swiss Certificate of Chronometric Precision, a title earned through unrelenting testing and unmatched engineering. In 1919, Wilsdorf moved Rolex to Geneva, Switzerland, the global hub of fine watchmaking. The move wasn't just symbolic, it rooted the brand in the heart of horological excellence. Since then, Rolex has pioneered countless innovations. The first waterproof wristwatch, the Oyster, the Perpetual rotor, a self-winding mechanism. The Datejust, the first watch to display the date on the dial. Today, Rolex is more than a timepiece. It's worn by explorers, presidents, and athletes. It's crossed oceans, climbed Everest, and descended to the ocean's deepest points. Rolex isn't just about telling time, it's about capturing history in motion. Let's begin this journey where all legends begin, deep inside the Rolex headquarters. Inside the secretive Rolex headquarters, Rolex's 4 fortified production sites in Switzerland. These are not typical factories. These are highly secured, lab-like sanctuaries where watchmaking ascends into an art form. Each facility has a distinct role. Bien, the beating heart where movements are crafted. Plan-les-Ouates, the forge where cases and bracelets are sculpted. Schönburg, home to dial artistry and gem-setting brilliance. Acacius, the brain of global operations, housing Rolex HQ before entering. Employees undergo biometric scans. No smartphones, no photography. Even suppliers and contractors sign confidentiality agreements. Why? Because Rolex guards its process like a state secret. Everything, yes, everything is made in-house. Unlike most watch companies that rely on third-party parts, Rolex controls every step. Their vertical integration ensures unmatched quality, consistency, and innovation. From metallurgy to micromechanics, from case polishing to dial printing, nothing leaves Rolex unless it meets their invisible line of perfection. Let's take a closer look at what that perfection is made of. The material science of Rolex: metals, gold, and ceramic. At the core of Rolex's dominance lies one powerful philosophy: control the raw material, control the outcome. Enter the foundry at Plan-les-Ouates, a high-tech facility where Rolex smelts its own metals. Most luxury brands source materials from suppliers. Rolex creates them. Here, metallurgy isn't just science, it's a religion. Take 904L stainless steel, or Oystersteel, as Rolex calls it. It's more corrosion-resistant, more durable, and shinier than standard steel. The steel arrives in rods, which are cut, shaped, milled, and polished until they radiate luxury. Then there's Everose Gold, Rolex's patented rose gold alloy. Traditional rose gold fades over time. Everose doesn't. The secret? A blend of pure gold, copper, and platinum, locked into harmony. And let's not forget Cerachrom, Rolex's proprietary ceramic. It's virtually scratch-proof, unaffected by UV light, and polished to a mirror finish. Used in bezels, it keeps diving watches legible even after years underwater. Each material is relentlessly tested, heated to extremes, submerged in corrosive liquids, slammed with stress tests. Rolex doesn't just build watches. They engineer immortality. The heart of the beast, Rolex movements. Every Rolex is powered by a mechanical soul, a movement so precise it could run a spacecraft. Crafted in Bienne, Rolex movements are born in workshops filled with high-tech robots and artisan watchmakers working side by side. Imagine CNC machines carving out microscopic gear teeth, lasers measuring tolerances thinner than a human hair. Then human hands assembling components with tweezers under microscopes. Each movement consists of over 200 components, including the escapement, which regulates the release of energy, The mainspring, storing energy through winding. The rotor, converting wrist motion into kinetic energy. The balance wheel, the heartbeat of time. Rolex movements are equipped with Cerachrom hairsprings, 10 times more shock resistant and completely resistant to magnetic fields. After assembly, the movement undergoes COSC testing for chronometer certification, but Rolex doesn't stop there. They add another round of in-house testing, subjecting the complete watch to real-world simulations. If it deviates beyond -2 + 2 seconds per day, it's rejected. The result? A watch more accurate than most quartz clocks. The dial, where art meets engineering. Each Rolex dial is crafted in the Schaenborg facility, using techniques that blend scientific precision with artistic expression. First, the base metal is shaped and drilled for markers and hands. Then comes the finish, sunburst, matte, or lacquered. Some dials even use exotic materials like meteorite, slices of space rock from ancient asteroids, mother of pearl with naturally iridescent swirls, malachite or lapis lazuli, colorful stones from Earth's crust. The application of text is done via pad printing, often with as many as 5 to 7 layers of ink to create perfect contrast. The hour markers are positioned and aligned by hand. The signature glow comes from chromolite, a Rolex-developed substance that emits a long-lasting blue light. Before approval, each dial is examined under a microscope. Even a dust particle means rejection, because on a Rolex dial, there's no room for almost. Gem setting, the art of perfection. When luxury meets jewelry, Rolex becomes a gem-setting powerhouse. Inside the Schaenborg facility, Rolex employs gemologists who sort diamonds, sapphires, and rubies by eye, checking color, clarity, and cut. Each stone must be flawless, uniform, perfect. Once approved, the stones are cut and then hand-set by artisans using microscopes and precision tools. The alignment? Perfect to a fraction of a millimeter. Patterns such as rainbow bezels on Daytona models take months to complete. Each gem must not only match, but tell a story. The result is dazzling, but never flashy. Balanced luxury. The case and bracelet, strength and style. The Oyster case is Rolex's fortress, a design that redefined waterproof watches forever. Machined from solid blocks of steel or gold, the case is milled, drilled, and polished by robots and humans together. The case back is screwed down with a tool only Rolex possesses, ensuring water resistance. Even the bracelet is a marvel. Oyster, strong and sporty jubilee, refined and elegant president, iconic and reserved for gold models. Each link is engineered for comfort with rounded edges and robust pins. The clasp features an easy link extension, allowing wearers to adjust length without tools. Nothing is accidental. Every part is intentional. Waterproof testing, the deep sea challenge. What does waterproof mean to Rolex? It means surviving 3,900 meters underwater. In Rolex's test labs, each Submariner and Sea Dweller is subjected to pressurized tanks that simulate deep-sea conditions. The Deep Sea Challenge, developed with James Cameron, was tested to 15,000 feet. When it returned from the Mariana Trench, Earth's deepest oceanic trench, it was still ticking. Rolex doesn't rely on promises. They prove performance. Extreme testing, shock, magnetism, and heat, vibrations, stronger than rocket launches. Magnetic fields, like those in hospital MRI machines, freezing cold and siring heat. These tests don't simulate ordinary life. They simulate the unthinkable. Why? Because Rolex believes a watch should work not just today, but 50 years from now, on any wrist, in any condition. Final assembly, the human touch. Despite all the machines, final assembly is where human expertise reigns. Watchmakers, many with decades of experience, assemble each watch by hand. Using loops, tweezers, and fine brushes, they unite movement, dial, hands, and case. Once assembled, the watch is tested again for accuracy, water resistance, power reserve, and aesthetics. Only after passing all exams is it assigned a unique serial number and placed in its green Rolex box. One watch, 1 year, one legacy. Why Rolex is expensive, the value behind the price. Tag, Rolex isn't expensive because of marketing. It's expensive because of what it takes to make one. In-house, everything. Artisan-level quality, constant innovation. Zero shortcuts. Rolex doesn't chase trends. It defines standards, and while others compete in luxury, Rolex dominates through consistency. Fun facts about Rolex. Rolex is a non-profit. All profits are reinvested into innovation and philanthropy. Over 1 million watches are made annually, but demand still exceeds supply. Rolex watches have survived plane crashes, deep dives, and even spaceflight. In auctions, vintage Rolexes often sell for millions. The timeless legacy of Rolex. In a disposable world, Rolex remains a monument of permanence. It doesn't shout, it whispers. It doesn't blink, it ticks. A Rolex doesn't just tell time, it tells a story. The story of precision, the story of patience, the story of purpose. So next time you see that 5-pointed crown, remember, it took an army of minds, a century of mastery, and a commitment to perfection to make that single moment on your wrist. Thanks for watching.